house. Little bit different surroundings. I'm actually hiding in the bedroom to get this recorded. It is pouring rain outside and nowhere in the house has good lighting anyway, and so I have turned on the lamp, I have turned on the ceiling fan light, I have brought an extra lamp in from the living room, and it's late in the afternoon. So everybody's home from school and Mike is home from the rink, and it is very loud out there. So I'm going to try to hide in here. Honestly, I played with Liam all day, so I didn't get this recorded. So I want to show you, I just got done, one of my previous videos was my monthly setup process. So I thought I would show you guys my weekly setup process too. So it's actually Monday and I have not set up my week yet because we had a crazy chaotic weekend, and I usually do this in bits and pieces, to be honest. It doesn't take that long. Sometimes I can sit down and just kind of knock it out in like 10 minutes, but you know, constant interruptions, right? So, so I waited until today to show you guys this. So I'm going to try to keep this balanced and flip the camera down and show you, since you saw me set up the month, now I'll show you how I set up my week. Okay, so my weekly setup process. I am still in, just so you know going forward, Chic Sparrow, Pocket Plus, Outlander, in Time Traveler, which I am so in love with. I'm going to, if I can get away with it, I'll take you guys, I'll do a flip through of this, like a setup. I've changed a couple of things from March, but not anything like crazy drastic. So just so you know what sizes we're talking about, that's the size I'm in. So anything that's labeled, usually Pocket TN, Pocket Traveler's Notebook, field note size, it's 3.5 by 5.5 is what I have in here. And yes, it's a Pocket Plus. I don't have any more inserts in there than I normally carry in a regular pocket. You can see I still have quite a bit of room. I'm using all 6 elastics. 6 is usually what I put in a pocket. They will go in a pocket size from Chic Sparrow, 6 of them, no problem. You just put, you know, jump bands onto the strands and then you get 6 notebooks in. I do like that the pen sits like inside there. You see what I'm saying? This width with the 6 of them in there, or the depth I should probably say, is perfect for my hand. So that was why I try to stick to 6. I have pretty small hands and I love seeing chunky notebooks. I realize a lot of you may consider this chunky, and you're right, but I like to carry, I don't know, it's something about the weight of it and the depth of it, like in my hand, is perfect. I am using, let me see, those are my dailies. Like I said, I haven't set up anything for April yet, except for the monthly calendar, because I wanted to record it. So there's what the monthly calendar ended up looking like. You guys already saw that. That is DIY Fish. These are the field note size V3S2 from DIY Fish. So here is what, actually that's last week. I did not use this week in this little booklet, the April booklet, because April was Saturday, so the 1st and 2nd are on there and that's it. So I just added 1 and 2 to the March booklet because obviously the end of March was up here and I used that. So I actually won't be using this little spread at all, but here is this week. There's today. It's so weird for me to not already have this done, you guys. And I am going to be using Planner Kate stickers. On my monthly and my weekly is where most of my stickers end up. I've kind of found a nice balance where I don't like a ton of stickers. I'll get distracted. Planner Kate stickers are very functional. So I get a little bit of pretty and a lot of function out of them. That makes me happy. So I have, these are all the ones I'm using for April. So here is the one I used to decorate the month. As you can see, there are a lot of them gone. And then all of her April ones were kind of a lavender type of theme. Here's another one of her April monthly inserts. So it does have the, I don't use this at all generally. If you're using Annie Plans printables, monthly calendars, these work really well. They fit right in, it gives you some extra notes room. So there's that one I can use. And what I'll do is, since they're all lavender, I'll use these throughout the month. Even, you know, I don't just stick to one kit for the month. And then I got 2 of the weeklies. I hope the shadows aren't too bad, you guys. I had to bring a lamp in here. Okay, so just so you have an idea what I'm working with. So all the colors kind of match. So I'll just kind of use them up throughout the month. On different weeks, doesn't really matter because all the colors are pretty similar. So here is what I do. I pull out my monthly calendar, right? And all I'm basically doing is transferring information from here to here. I can get more detail over here. So that's why I do that. And I do have it in the works here to do a video for you guys kind of explaining and showing how, but explaining why I use a monthly and a weekly and a daily. It's just for me a question of like funneling down to detail, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to move this light so that the shadow isn't too bad. So, and obviously I don't bind my books. That's why you see this stuff is loose. I do have my monthly calendar taped in, but I don't bind my books. The elastic will just hold that down, so I'm not overly worried about it. So, however, I will tell you that I won't set this aside and get it out of the way, because what I'll end up doing is putting all the detail stuff that I need for this week needs to go on here, right? Because this is the center page. I'll set this aside and I'll write it over here and it'll end up being on the wrong week. Ask me how I know I'll do that. I will tell you. I've done it more than once. So here is this week. Here is the monthly calendar. So the first thing I do is look for any appointments this week. And oh, I need my little page, my little book dart. That's the word I couldn't think of in my last video. I keep this book dart. I still have the March calendar in my book. So little book dart, I put this on the current week on my monthly calendar. So here is the current week, which fits well because there's nothing on Monday. Just a typical day today. So this is the week we're talking about, okay? I'm on a horizontal calendar too from DIY Fish. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at any times that anybody is going to be gone, because I mark like multiple days, like if Mike's going to be traveling or if one of the kids is going, like if Coda's going out of town or something for a couple of days, I mark that over here with vertical lines. Okay, so I'm going to do that first. Okay, so that part is done. So any travel that's going on, I take care of that. And then the next thing I usually put in is any financial stuff. I tend to keep my finances kind of over in this section. I kind of divide these into thirds. There's kind of 3 columns. I don't mark them. I used to draw a line and mark them, but because sometimes in this part where like scheduled stuff is going on, it could get really crowded. So I need to be able to kind of move sideways with that if necessary and take up space from the other 2 columns. I stopped physically marking them because this is a grid background. I don't have a hard time discerning them, but I've been setting this up this way for a long time too. So that really helps. And those I am going to pull from my my monthly calendar. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use stickers. Which ones do I want this week? But I will put those on stickers and I will make a column right here of finances stuff. Okay, so I have added any bills that I am paying this week. I use these little tiny icons on the weekly setup just because I am working in that kind of limited space. I use the bigger ones that say like bill due or payday on my dailies. Okay, so if there's a specific day I know I want to pay a bill, like let's say a tuition payment for Clayton, I pay those early, and a lot of times the way they've fallen this semester, they keep falling on Sundays. So I make sure the latest that they're paid is like the Thursday or Friday beforehand, if that makes sense, just so I know it gets processed in time. So that's done. The next thing I'm going to put on here, I think, will be the hockey schedule. We're just about to the end of the regular hockey season, so I've got a couple more weeks of hockey games to put on here. So those are over here. So I'm going to use, it's the same kit that I used for the monthly. I use these little ones to mark the hockey games, and it's kind of Mike's column is kind of this center bit here. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I have added the hockey games for this week. I have done any bills, any paydays this week, any travel this week. And the only other thing we have, like, I don't have any scheduled appointments right now this week. I will put in here, like if I have any specific like Skype calls scheduled for anything, anything like that, anything time specific for kind of general or me or the family or the boys, that all goes over here kind of in my left-hand column. The only things right now that we have going on over there is one of the boys has practice 3 nights this week, and those are marked right here with these little green lines. So I'm going to add those in. Okay, so now I have added all of the scheduled stuff that we have going on. So I have added, a couple of hunters practices, a couple of nights we have kids coming and going. The reason I put this stuff on stickers, I did used to just write it. Obviously it's still color coded, like anything that's Hunter's is dark green, anything that's kind of all the boys is light blue, or you know, at least a couple of the boys. Mike's stuff is all red, Bill's are all in light green. The reason I started putting this stuff on stickers is, especially with Hunter's practices, those will get moved. It'd be like, oh, you know what, we're not doing practice Tuesday night this week, we're gonna do it Wednesday instead. Well, especially with these Planner Kate stickers, all I have to do is peel that up, move it. I don't have to get the whiteout out, I don't have to deal with that. These move so well, and you guys, when I have changed setups in the middle of a month, which I don't do very often, but I go through streaks of doing it, like trying different inserts, or sometimes people will message me and say, hey, I just made these inserts, would you mind trying them? I'll move everything so that I actually use the stuff that I'm being asked to try out. So I'll peel all these stickers up and move them. I have moved stickers multiple times. I did it in March, and by golly, these things still stick and they don't tear. At least that's been my experience. So that's really been key to keep this clean, is to be able to have stuff on removable stickers that I can reschedule stuff easily like that, and it's not a big deal. Now, so that's scheduled, you know, date sensitive stuff, okay? Over here on this side, I put any tasks for the week, whether they're, you know, project related or related to like the house or the kids or whatever, I put those over here. So the first thing I'm going to put on there is any project stuff for this week, and that I get from my DIY Fish version carry inserts, and these go on this backdrop board. These do not like to lay nicely. There we go. These I kind of go back and forth between having them in here and keeping them in my Malden or my Vanderspec, whichever one I happen to be using at the time. I tend to go back and forth with them. So right now I have them in my pocket. So for this, and if you guys want to see a run through of this, I'll show you. So far, this is what it looks like. Now this up here will probably get added to, it's a magazine month. The magazine goes live in about 2 weeks, roughly a week and a half. So there's not a lot of kind of stuff going on up here because that's obviously taking time. Plus I just moved everything to new servers, and I'm still trying to get my magazine email to work properly with my email client on my phone and my computer. So because that's all time consuming, there's not a whole lot going on. If you guys want to see how I use this, give me a holler and I'll show you. It's been a little while since I showed you how I use these, but basically for this week, this is what I have set up to get done as far as project stuff go. Now obviously April issue is on there. I need to finish up putting together the April issue. I still have contributions coming in, you know, articles and whatnot, which is fine. If you guys ever want to send anything for the magazine, by the way, right now it goes up every other month, so it'll be April, the next issue will go out in June. I have it set up so it's not too hard for me to add things at the last minute. So even if I get like a video or an article or whatever from you, say 2-3 days before the publication date, I will do my darndest to still get it in the current issue, so you don't have to wait like 2 months to see your article or your video or whatever go up in an issue of it. I've finally got it set pretty, the last 2 issues have been like that. It's pretty well set, and I can just kind of plug stuff in and edit as I need to. And what ends up being time consuming more than anything is the, oh, could you send me a bio for me to add to the end of the article? And oh, do you have a picture I could put? That's the kind of stuff that tends to take longer. Me actually getting the stuff into the magazine is pretty lickety split. So total aside, nothing to do with setting up the weekly calendar, but just in case you guys are even considering sending something, please don't hesitate. Send it. All your stuff can go to submissions@paperplanning.com, by the way. And hopefully I'll get it. I'm still working on getting my stinking email for the magazine to work. So at any rate, I need to fill in this part for this week. And I always do my project stuff first because I know that the stuff for the boys will get done. I know that the stuff for the house will most likely get done. All the kids' stuff's always taken care of. Like, you know, oh, so-and-so's got to have new pants before his concert, and that stuff is always going to get taken care of. My project stuff goes at the top just so nothing falls through the cracks. And yes, things still fall through the cracks, I assure you. So the only thing that I put on this page is basically like the name of the project. So for instance, weekly setup process is right there, right? That's the video that we're recording right now. So I have each step for that on here in this insert in my book where this is going to go. I don't need every step for this written out more than once. A lot of times I don't even write those steps out because I'll record a video, I'll edit it, I'll make the featured image for the post, you know, I'll write up the post, whatever I'm going to do for the blog for it, and then I'll post it and share it. I do it all in one day, on a day that I can do it all, but I'm trying to start getting more than one record at a time, which means I might have multiple videos in different stages of being ready to be posted. So I started writing these steps out again. I do not include these steps on here. All I need on here is a list of the projects that I need to keep in mind. If I need any more detail, I will go to this, or I'll go back here where I have like all the magazine stuff. Okay, so that is what's going next, is my project stuff. Okay, so that is how that is looking. I have pulled just the names of projects from my planning insert for the page for this week from here. Okay, left all the details in there. I don't need them on here. This is kind of just the stuff I need to keep in the front of my mind this week. Because it's coming up on a magazine release, that's a lot of what's going on and stuff for the magazine, and getting this freaking email fixed. It's driving me crazy. So that has to get done. Anything for the boys or home stuff, I tend to start down here and work my way up. These lists, I tend to start up here, work my way down. I can also add over here if need be. So I kind of take a look through this and see if there's anything on here that I want or need to get done this week. I think maybe one of these household things, these are kind of time-consuming household things. I need to get one of those on here, I think, but I honestly haven't decided which one yet. That will go right here in orange. So I pulled from my project pages, I pulled from the monthly kind of lists, and I think that is it for now. Now this will fill in more as the week goes on. I will put, a lot of times when I haven't used up this right side, I'll designate this like next week, and I'll kind of start a list over here of stuff I need to keep in the front of my mind for next week. Or because it's the beginning of the month, I have next week in the booklet already. So I'll just slap a post-it note over here until I'm ready to put together next week. The only other thing I'll put over here, which I think, and this is a good idea for this week, is a waiting for column. I'm waiting for emails from a couple of people, you know, messages, a couple of articles, stuff like that. So I always keep a running list of what I'm waiting for. So I can just kind of keep an eye out for that stuff as well. Because it's stuff for the magazine, I won't put it on here yet, but that's, so you know, that's what's going to go over there. This, toward the end of the month, will, you know, one of these later weeks, especially this last week, that ends up becoming kind of a next week or next month kind of thing. So somebody's knocking on the door. One second. Okay. One of the boys is leaving for work, so he was telling me goodbye. So kind of the last two things to do on here would be the chart and a little bit of like washi strip action, I think. But I honestly don't know which one I'm going to use. I think I want to use this one of these two. They're so pretty. And those I usually just put kind of along the top, and that's it. So I use one for that, and then I can use the other one during the week, or, you know, on my daily pages, whatever I want. So, and my chart, what I normally do with my chart, or what I have been doing with it, is stuff like tracking whether, you know, like social media posts, making sure I'm staying on top of that, for both my stuff and the magazine stuff. The magazine stuff I have not been very good about keeping up with lately. And then whether I took my vitamins, allergy medicine, and whether I drank enough fluids. So that is what's going to go down here, so I will fill that in. Okay, so that is what that looks like all filled in. And as you can see, like, I have to pull marches out here yet, but I just fill them in like that. Everything down there is color coded. See that? So that's how that works. So I think the last thing I'll do is put some pretty on there, because we have to have some pretty on there, right? And then I believe we are good to go. Alrighty, so that is the last of it. I added a little bit of the washi strip that is right here, and I used a couple of these kind of scalloped. I'll show you on one that I didn't peel them off of. I know I should do this, like record it and then do the, you know, speed up process. I honestly find it's quicker for me to just pause it. But there's these 3 scalloped stickers on each set. Here's another one of Planner Kate's weekly little kits. So I used contrasting colors, so I look at what color this week and finances are typed in. So they're right here, see that, finances this week. And I just kind of pick a different color and I stick them on there to kind of label, like, I know this is my finances column. I don't need a label, but it looks awfully pretty. So sometimes I'll even put one up here that like says plan, or, you know, something like that, which actually we could do. Well, maybe not. I really don't need it up there. So sometimes I'll use these wide ones too. If you guys want an idea of another thing, you could do these wider boxes. You could label up here as well. And then she has a sticker on the weekly kits that says plan. So, or there's a to do. Okay, and I'm just now realizing the only other thing I didn't do was put my weekend sticker on there. You gotta have a weekend sticker on there, it's important. So I will put my weekend sticker on there for next weekend. These, I tend to not put these in here because especially toward the end of the week, obviously our week gets a little bit busy. That's kind of common in our schedules. So I put my weekend sticker along the edge here, kind of along Saturday and Sunday and a little bit of Friday, just like that. And that is it. That's how I set up my week. Now, like I said, this will get added to as things come up. I also need to add a waiting for list over here, but it's magazine stuff. So I'm gonna add that after we turn the camera off. And that is it, guys. If you have any questions, just holler and let me know. I'll put links to the inserts and the stickers down below. Okay, thanks so much. Bye-bye.